All right, what's happening, guys? I feel like we just met yesterday because we did. I'm looking at the camera. What's that on my face? Okay, nothing. It's on my screen. Hold on a second. I don't know. I gotta fix that camera. All right, this is unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, and humanity. And we need more of that, that's for sure. And I see the chat room filling up. If you're listening or watching the show at any other platform, or maybe not, I don't know. I'm going to be looking at the chat at youtube.com/c4channel/Tarabuster. But there are other places you can watch the show and hang out. And you don't have to watch it live, but it's always more fun when you're in the greatest chat room in American history with the rest of the amazing, great patriots who I've had the honor and privilege of getting to know a little bit over the past few years. We've been doing the show, and we definitely have our OG regulars like Jim. Thank you, Jim, for your super chat. And Jim is also a moderator. The chat sound, the mic sounds bad, you're saying. God help me. See, you see what I'm saying? Oh, here we go. How's that? You guys are great. I might have to start the show again. How's that sound? I don't know how that happens. You see? I don't know. I don't touch anything. That's what she said. But I also don't touch the mic settings. So I don't know how it was off. So I might have to start the show again because I'm going to have to cut the show down for... Well, you know how it is. How does it sound now? I'm just going to wait for the people in the chat to let me know if this is better. Okay, great. Thank you, Jim. You see, I can't do the show without you. I would not even know that the audio was off because it sounds fine in my headphones. So, you know what I'm going to do? We just started, so let's consider this a mic check. And I'm going to put I'll put the thing back up. Well, I guess I should, right? Make it easier for me when I cut it down. And then we'll start the music again. I wouldn't do this normally, except this is the show I have to cut down for progressive voices, and, I need these audio cues. All right, so we'll be back in 2 seconds. Hold on.
RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right, guys, what's going on? This is unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, and humanity. And thank you. God damn it, we need more of it. So let's see. I see the chat room filling up at youtube.com/C4channel/Tarabuster. And I feel like I blinked and the day went by because we had a show last night, and it's great to see everybody again in the chat room. And I don't know what the hell I would do with, my life. And not just my life, but my, it gives me hope to hang out with you guys. That's really what it is. I think I would be incredibly depressed if I didn't have the show and get together with you, as much as I complain about it as well. I complain about the show, but it's just the frustrations of the show, the fact that Alex Jones makes $800,000 a day, and we're out here saying, please become a patron, and basically scraping by thanks to Jim's super chats, and others who support the show. So anyway, whatever.
that's frustrating. And, because like 800, why, who needs $800,000 a day less than Alex Jones? Do you understand what I'm saying? He's sick. And I was actually thinking about him today. I don't know why. He came up in the conversation. And I was just, you look at him. He looks miserable. He's a horrible person, clearly. And he hates himself. And, he inflicts his manias on the world. And that is the Republican Party, because it's, why? And I have my theories about Alex Jones, as you know. I believe he's somehow, in some way, he's in the closet. Either he's gay or he's trans, something he hates about himself. And I think it's that deep. And he wouldn't go to therapy because that would take courage. So he is an inherent coward, so he would much rather inflict the evil that he feels, the hate that he feels outward onto this world and onto others who are, trying to live authentic lives, and people who are capable of functioning in a democracy. Oh shit. Here he comes. All right. Here comes the producer, not the cat. You know who he is. He's himself. So, okay. Well, before we get going, I do have to do some of the plugs. So, like I say, if you can become a patron at patreon.com/Taradevil, and that will help to keep the show going and growing. We also have other affiliates that you can support, and that helps too. APS Radio News is the newest platform where Tarabuster is on, with other normal people, and maybe not so normal people are there. But you don't need to. I don't know. Whatever. You can check them out, but I'm sure you're not a bunch of dupes, so you wouldn't fall for that bullshit. Anyway, so what else? Oh, I was going to say FYI Nation. Unfortunately, that's not happening right now. And hopefully Thomas will, come back stronger than ever. And I'm looking at I'm just looking because somebody sent in a donation through, you could do a one-time donation. So I just want to thank Alam Burhane, and really, thank you so much. I really needed to hear what your kind words, and also, of course, the practical realities of your support help too. But I love I just really love what you wrote. Thank you for being hilarious and insightful. I appreciate that. And it makes me know that, we're touching people, and not against their will either. We're not Republicans, and why would we do that? We ask permission first. But thank you. I'm glad to know you're out there listening, and this goes for everybody who's a supporter. If you want a Tarabuster mug, you gotta send me an email at tarabustermedia@gmail.com, okay? And with your address and whatnot, and I'll send you a mug, okay? I gotta redo the Patreon page. It's very old and stale, and it has, I gotta update it and update the incentives, I guess. So, but I'm also letting you know that this is a one-man band over here, and by man I mean me. So, be gentle with me. There's only so many hours in the day. That's why I ask, all right, for support, because, Alex Jones has a fucking assistant, okay? It makes me sick. All right, let's get to work here. There's a lot to talk about. It never stops, but I'm glad. Yeah, we weren't able to do a show except for Thursday and Friday this week, but I'm almost glad that happened that way, because yesterday we talked about the student loans, and tonight, of course, the unredacted report or whatever, the unredacted whatever the hell out. And of course, I mean, that's why I called tonight's show, Republicans, please get the help. Get the help you need before you go full Jim Jones, because that's where it's going. Absolutely. There is nothing this scumbag, that the con man can do that these pricks won't excuse. And of course not. Now today, Mary Trump tweeted, what did she say? Something like, is this it? What will it take? Will I'm trying to, let's see. Well, let me get it right out of the horse's mouth. Mary Trump. She tweeted, the same sentiments, like, Republicans, is this it? Is this finally the bridge too far? That the con man took home classified documents, and the terror. Just thinking about the fact that the classified material included classified information about human beings. So people are speculating that this is, of course, our clandestine agents who operate all over the world to keep us safe. You know how Republicans are always talking about how they want to keep us safe. They always wanted to keep us safe when they're stomping on our civil rights. It's all about safety. When they're destroying democracy, of course. But it's exactly what the Republicans do. So Joe Biden said yesterday, and good for him, he said that this is a semi-fascist party. The Republicans are semi-fascist. I thought when he said that, that means they are full-on fascist. You understand? Because we are way ahead of Joe Biden in that department. He will not admit it. And this old school Democrat is not going to, let go for some reason. It's just whatever the denial is. You want to hang on to the past or whatever the fantastical notions you once had about your colleagues, when the truth is staring you right in the face. And here's Biden.
MAGA Republicans don't just threaten our personal rights and economic security. They're a threat to our very democracy.
Yeah.
They refuse to accept the will of the people. They embrace political violence.
Yeah. So that doesn't sound semi-fascist. They are a fascist party. This is a fucking coup. A coup. And forewarning, this is a very salty show. So just children, close one of your ears. Right, Jim on the chat says Dark Brandon waking. And I love that Dark Brandon thing because it's great. We got to take that bullshit back from these emotionally stunted fascist con men. Infants. Hold on. But Joe Biden really, he's for such a slim minority in the House and Senate, he's really gotten a lot of shit done. And I don't care. Like, these Republicans, I can't even take it that they're in any way in spitting distance of being in the majority in the House or the Senate. And you heard Mitch McConnell, and he let the cat out of the bag. No offense to cats. what did he say? Oh, that he was talking about how it's the Senate is gonna is really in play now, not just because of I'm trying to remember how he put it, but because he was saying that the candidates, the Republican candidates, are the quality of the candidates aren't up to what they're not up to Sarah Palin's standards. Come on. So, I mean, we can go through the quality of these candidates, but I won't. And, but he also said it was easier to win in the House because something about, but it wasn't as easy to win in the Senate as it is in the House. And by not saying it, he basically said it. It's not as easy to win a statewide race because they can't gerrymander it. That's what he said. That's what in between the lines. So, I mean, for Joe Biden to say that this is a semi-fascist party, you better believe we're in deep shit. And I'm really glad to see that as far as these fucking polls, which drive me insane, but they're saying that the American people are putting saving democracy at the top of the list, even before the economy. So maybe this freaking corporate media mouthpieces can give it a rest for a minute with the fucking gas prices. That would drive me insane. Yes, gas prices are high, but you know what? This too shall pass. It's a free market, right? There's a pandemic. There's a goddamn war happening. And it will be a hell of a lot easier to, lower gas prices than it will to restore democracy. But every goddamn day on the corporate media, oh my God, whoa, what do you say about... And that Willie Geist goddamn character. What do you say to people who think they don't care about January 6th? All they care about is their gas prices, the unfairness. They want to put their kitchen table issues. It's like they give a shit about kitchen table issues. This buzzword, kitchen table issues, when... Okay, well, I might believe the sincerity for a second if we ever had any mention of the fact that the U.S. is has the widest income gap and all that. But, okay. I see Mark in the chat. Mark C. Nice to see you, Mark. Nice to see you. We got the real OG Tarabusters happening. And thank you, Richard, for your super chat. Really appreciate it. Another great show, Tara. All right. Well, more will be... That is yet to be seen. Okay. Republicans. So, okay. What was I thinking today? When I think about what we're going to talk about on the show. Whatever. I don't want to just rehash whatever the hell is going on. But, of course, we have our take on it. And really, I was thinking, of course, about the Jim Jones thing and what will it take? Because the excuses never stop. And also the hypocrisy, right? And I do think it's kind of delicious that Trump was the one who turned the mishandling of classified documents into a felony. Because he thought he was sticking it to that bitch Hillary Clinton, who I don't know all about this lock her up shit, but why is the con man still walking around? Okay? If there's someone in this country who's been treated with more deference than that filthy con man, the tax cheating, draft dodging, fake university peddling, fake multi-level marketing, vitamin scam pushing con man. If there's anybody who's been given more from this country, who's taken, the biggest taker ever to freaking squat in the White House or in any, squat in the woods for that matter. I mean, why? Lock his filthy ass up. If we're a nation of laws, there is no doubt in my mind. And now you see how the con man, when it came out that he was one of the redaction. We're never going to know because everything's fucking redacted. But they thought they could manipulate it. But it still doesn't look good. It doesn't matter, though. No matter what, even if it's said right there in black and white, Trump, the con man. I don't like calling him Trump. I like con man because that's what he is. The con man sold nuclear secrets to our enemies, to America's enemies. And they're not his enemies, though. You see what I mean? They're America's enemies because America is still a aspirational democracy. For as much as the Republicans are trying to destroy it and tear it down and tear the American people apart, it still, has its, that's the facade. So, but they're not Trump's enemies. They're not the con man's enemies. He loves these people. He loves Putin. Now, you can't tell me, what did he do with these documents? Why did he specifically take these particular documents? And it wasn't about his love letters to Kim Jong-un. He took documents that had to do with not just nuclear secrets, which we will never know. We won't know what if it was nuclear secrets, but we do know it. Some of it had to do with this human secrets. Whoever, and we know what that is. It's people. The names of our agents. And that's exactly, the Republicans this is what they have done. They've done this in the past. And I received another email today from Kay Petrini, the Mike Malloy education correspondent, but also the Tarabuster education correspondent, which reminds me, where the hell is our millennial correspondent, Mark? What's going on with my son from another woman's womb? Mark, if you're listening, I hope you can find the 30,000 emails I sent you. All right, hold on a second. So I received another email from Kay talking about basically that we've been here before. So Kay writes, it seems to me that Trump has outdone the Bush administration yet again. Remember the Valerie Plame scandal? Right? Of course, you guys probably remember it. Our millennial correspondent, Mark, was too young. But Kay writes, I remember the talk about how the leak possibly jeopardized not only Plame's life, but the lives of others who worked at the CIA's front company. It was called Brewster Jennings, and it was absolutely outrageous. And of course, what were the repercussions of that? Nothing. Because Republicans, there's no rules for thee, rules for me, not for thee. Laws for me, not for thee. Now imagine if any one of us had done what they did. They released the name. And this is, what they did? Here's what happened, if you guys remember. So, as Kay finishes up saying, from what I understand about today's revelations, Trump has outdone the Bush crime family once again by compromising human intelligence. I guess he really is the best at something. And she finishes it with, "Why is this mofo not in jail?" And that's the question on every patriot's lips. So let me see. This is from 2005. We won't go read the whole thing, but it's from the New York Times. For nearly 2 years, the investigation into the leak of a covert CIA officer's name has unfolded clamorously in the nation's capital, with partisan brawling on talk shows, prosecutors interviewing President Bush and top White House officials. Now, what happened? I think it was because I don't remember the exact backstory. That's why I'm trying to read it, just peruse it. It was in retaliation for what Valerie Plame's husband. Oh yeah, it was because they said. That's what happened. Her husband said there were no weapons of mass destruction. That's what it was, and because he was an intelligence officer, and just so happened his wife was a CIA agent working undercover, and the Dick Cheney released her name in retaliation. Can you believe these fucking traitors? Of course you can. That's what happened. Insane. The article says he recalled with incredulity on July 14th, 2003, when his wife, spotted in the Washington Post in a syndicated column by Robert Novak, a line identifying their neighbor by her maiden name and calling her an agency operative. The Wilsons' neighbor on the other side, Christopher Wolf, was similarly aghast as he sat at his desk staring at the Novak column. So these people were friends of Valerie Plame, and they didn't know she was an agent, but that's part of being a freaking agent, right? If Trump is such a, and the rest of this filth that's unfit to, they're just unfit. They're unfit. They're unfit to lead a modern nation. This filth, the filth that is Trump. Remember when the pictures of him and the Japanese prime minister who was recently assassinated, but there was a bombing. That's what happened. And then all of a sudden a table at Mar-a-Lago became the skiff. And everyone at the table, including the Japanese prime minister, there, and people walking by, going up for seconds at the salad bar and shit like that. We're seeing all of what was going on, because Trump is a small, he's a tiny little fragile bitch, and he wanted everyone to see. What good is it being the so-called president if you can't be a big fucking gorilla in front of all of the suckers who pay the dues at your tacky club, right? That's what they're getting. As soon as he became the president, despite receiving fewer votes, he jacked up the prices to belong to that club, which is nothing but a spy hole, by the way. We know that. So when you go up to Mar-a-Lago, to the salad bar, and you get your croutons or whatever, and you ask for, can I please, I don't know, get some Splenda or whatever here. The waiter bringing it to your table is a spy. Okay, you better believe it. When you ask for a cat, you want to go play golf. You need a caddy. That's a spy. That's a spy. And whatever else. So the guy who cuts the lawn, he's a spy. They're all fucking spies there. You better believe it. I'm not just saying it. You know, and in fact, of course, we know this already. They've already caught spies red-handed there, and God knows. But yeah, of course. Oh, thank you, Mark, for your super chat. Not just a donation, it's love in action. Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate that. Right back at you, my friend. Right back at you. And thank you, Terry Taylor, for your super chat and the cute little emoji. Looks like me and one of my juniors. Junior's sleeping. Hold on. You want to see? He's good when he's sleeping. He's good. He's a producer. He had a hard day of producing. Yes, Winston on the chat says, and the woman arrested for being a Chinese asset. That's right. There was a spy. There's been spies at Mar-a-Lago. And we read an article here on the show about the problem of spies at Mar-a-Lago. And Republicans, I hate them so much, as you know. But I don't hate, I'm not trying to hurt them. It's not like they want to hurt me. Of course they do. They're violent. They're calling for violence. They want death, destruction. They want you to suffer. And I don't want them to suffer. I want them to get health care so they can get the fucking mental health care they need and everything else. But whatever. Let me see. Hold on a second. Mar-a-Lago. Spies. Yes. Let's just look that up. Spy. Mar-a-Lago. Spy problem. Yes. All right. Trump affidavit. Oh, yeah. That's today. Chinese trespasser at Mar-a-Lago is sentenced to 8 months in jail. Was the Mar-a-Lago trespasser a tourist or a spy? Guess we'll never know. But they're for all of their criticism of Democrats. There was a picture of Eric Swalwell. He took a picture with some woman who ended up being a spy or something. And in fact, they never let him live that down. And that's why I hate them on top of everything else. But they constantly, it doesn't matter, if you've been cleared or if the minute you found out about it, you did A, B, C, you did your due diligence, you fixed what was broken, whatever the hell. It doesn't matter if the intelligence agencies said everything was cool now, we got this under control, which is what happened. Of course, spies and shit and people like that are going to try to get close to people in power. But Republicans, it doesn't matter how much you will apologize and make it right. They will continue to tweet about it or send a meme about it. No, but never looking in their own eyes. I mean, forget the taking this twig out of there. What is that from the Bible? Don't criticize the splinter in someone else's eye when you got a fucking 2x4 in yours. They got all of them, not just spies. Maria Butina. They take pictures with this bitch constantly. They give her money. They get in relationships with her. They think they're in love with her. Give me a break. And she's a spy. Maria Butina. So, all right, we're not talking about her. Let's see. And okay. Well, so I was thinking today, what are we going to talk about? This is Tarabuster. As you know, we go all over the place sometimes. But one of the things I kind of stumbled into last night after the show Well, a few things. I don't know. When should I start this? I guess we can do it now. I wanted to, well, I don't know. I'm just thinking about, let's do it. Let's do it. I was just thinking about how horrible Republicans are. Going about my day, dusting, doing my chores, my daily whatever, thinking, they sure are horrible. Thank you, Pookie's mama, Irene. Oh, Pookie's mama. For your super chat. Yes, waiting for Trump's perp walk. Won't that be great? When this happens, I almost said if. When it happens, we're going to have a great Tarabuster that night. It's going to be fun. Oh, my God. I can't wait. Okay, so I don't know if you guys remember this horrible person named Martin Hyde. Well, he's back. He's another GOP candidate. And as far as Mitch McConnell, he talks about the quality of candidates, I wonder, I guess he's one of them. This Martin Hyde character. And the thing that's so interesting, and as we study the Trumpanzees like Jane Goodall studied apes, is that, but I wish I could study them from afar, frankly. I really do. I wish that we were studying them in hindsight, not having to share the same air with them, but oh well. Eventually, we'll have them in history's trash pile. It'll be okay. So anyway, with this guy, Martin Hyde is a real scumbag, like the rest of them. And I wondered, because after the show last night, I came across a couple of articles about this guy. I don't know, for some reason, it came up in one of my something or others. I was like, this guy, Martin Hyde, who is he? And then I was like, oh yeah, he's the guy that dropped out of the race. He tried to run for office once before, and dropped out of the race after he was caught on a cop's body cam being a piece of shit to this cop. And I wondered, and then he said he gave this apology where he blamed the fact that he was having a bad day when he berated this woman. And if it was a man, you gotta think, would he have treated this police officer like this? Let's go down memory lane and see and revisit the horrible person that is Martin Hyde. And you could tell me if you remember. Let's see. Okay. We're going to watch it off the YouTube. So this female cop pulls him over. Oh, don't tell me there's no audio. I don't hear it. Shit, don't tell me. Oh, that kind of sucks. Can you hear that, guys? No, I don't even see the levers moving. We don't need to play it. I thought it would be funny to play it, but he's just being an asshole to her. Surprise. What a surprise. Why is my stupid thing... Yeah, it's not playing. How interesting. Why is that not working? I don't really have time to figure it out. Oh, now I can hear it when it's not playing. Hold on a second. You probably hear it now. Fucking eCam. Hold on, guys. Can you hear that? What the now it's everything is out of control. Everything is playing. Oh my God. Hold on. This is getting out of control. I can't handle it. The show is going out of control. The show is attacking me. And I don't like it. I'm being attacked by my own show. What the fuck, man? Hide this, hide that. Nobody wants to. This is why, this is why. Every time something like this happens, I'm like, this is why. This is why. Yeah, it's very bizarre. I don't hear it when it's playing. Oh, well, whatever. Fuck it. Fuck it. Anyway, so this guy, Martin, it's a shame. It's kind of a shame that we can't play it because he is such an epic dick that it's almost like you have to experience it for yourself to really understand what a douchebag he is. But one of these days, I'll get this fucking show working correctly. And we won't have to deal with that shit. Yeah, I wonder if that has anything to do with the fact that the mic was kicked off when we first started the show. So maybe some other settings are. I bet you that's what happened. Every time they do an update, this is why I feel like I should switch to OBS, which is another podcasting program, but I don't know OBS, and I'd have to learn it. So I feel like I'm kind of stuck in, with. Oh, I hope I didn't close everything. I feel like I'm stuck. Oh, there you are. Okay, with Ecamm, and one of the things. I mean, I like it in one way, but in another way, I hate the fact that this is what happens. It does updates or whatever, and then I don't know that the show's not going to work until we're actually doing a show. So it's really fucking annoying. And I don't like it. But we played a video and that worked. I guess I won't be able to play things off I was hoping I was going to be, because that video is like 20 minutes long. But anyway, so Martin Hyde, it doesn't matter. We'll revisit him another day as far as his watching him in action. He's just a real asshole. And I wondered about, you want to talk about the quality of a Republican? That's the quality of candidates. That's who they are. And I'm really putting this out there to you guys sincerely. Can anybody show me or point me in the direction of a Republican who's decent, let's say? You know what I mean? Like, who is not in it for the money, who is not a piece of dirt, who doesn't scream, "Don't you know who I am?" when they're caught, because he was pulled over by this female officer, and he was speeding. He was going 20 miles over the speed limit, and also simultaneously texting on his phone, of course, and so she cited him for that, and she cited him for speeding, and then she cited him for not having his registration because he was being a dick about it. She asked for his registration. Every which way, he was being belligerent towards her, saying, "I'm getting the chief on the phone. Don't you know who I am? This is all about respect." And then he wouldn't take his documents back when he finally handed them over, and then she wrote them up, and he wouldn't put his precious little paws out the window and grab the documents. So she's like, "Sir, you're going to take your documents." And after the 10th time, and listening to him constantly berate her, she went and she put his documents on the guy's dashboard. And he says to her, "What are you doing? Get your hand out of here. You don't have a warrant." I mean, what a piece of dirt these fuckers are. And so what happened the last time is that he dropped out of the race because this video kind of went viral, and so he was embarrassed. And then he did this apology, and basically blamed everybody but himself, including the sun that came up in the morning. Fucking asshole. Hold on. But this Martin Hyde guy, he's back. And where is it? Here's what he says. Now this is becoming an epidemic with the filth that is the Republican human, and I'm being generous by calling them humans. So he's running for office in Florida, of course. So Jacob Ogles writes for Florida Politics. He writes, another GOP candidate, Martin Hyde, says he wants to shoot FBI agents. This is the new... I mean, I'm all for this. If I'm not for the shooting of FBI agents. I'm just for Republicans letting it out. Showing us who they truly are. Because they've always been this. Even before. When they were giving... They always just give lip service to law and order. They don't like agents, particular agents. They like the police state. Yeah, they don't like the police. They like the police state. So it's always been about abuse. And now that they're off the chart traitors, and they have a con man as a standard bearer, who, I mean, they've all been con men, of course, but who is a outright traitor. And it will come down to, you guys you mark these words too. Just like Benedict Arnold is synonymous with traitor here in the United States, you call somebody a Benedict Arnold and people know what you're talking about. Just like that, Trump will be similarly remembered. He will. When you call somebody a Trump, people will get the full picture. This is a con man, a traitor, a piece of dirt, someone who has no business being anywhere near any position that pretends that supposedly is for the betterment of the people, of the people's country, of the government, please. I hate Trump. I so hate him. And you know why I hate the Republicans, all of them? Because, except for, Dick Cheney, Liz and all them, whatever, that's great. They weren't able to cross the line into full totalitarianism. But as we know, and just like we were talking about 5 minutes ago, Dick Cheney laid the groundwork for outing covert agents and things like that. And also, fascism isn't a light switch. You can't just turn it on. This has been building for a generation now. That's for sure. So, this in Florida Politics, it's floridapolitics.com. I'm sorry, I can't say these words sometimes. Jacob Ogles, okay, he writes, is shooting law enforcement becoming a new cause for the far right? Another day in Florida politics, another congressional candidate threatening to kill the FBI. Martin Hyde, a Republican running in Florida's 16th congressional district, uploaded a video this week to YouTube where he reportedly said he would have killed the FBI agents who raided Donald Trump's filth nest of spies called Mar-a-Lago. editorializing, as you can imagine. I wish they'd turn up at my home, he said, 'cause they'd have gone home in a body bag. Oh, then don't they talk so tough? This filth. The filth that is Martin Hyde. Hyde is running against Representative Vern Buchanan in an August 23rd Republican primary. He's not the first far-right candidate for public office who expressed similar thoughts. Louis Miguel, or a Republican challenging State Representative Bobby Payne in House District 20, tweeted, "All Americans should be allowed to shoot federal law enforcement," showing up with a approved warrant. So, and this is, they're talking about civil war. Go away. We don't want to have a war. No, I mean, there won't be a war. There won't be a war of armies meeting on the battlefield. How about you just go the fuck away? You know what I mean? Like these anarchists that we were talking about for the past couple of days. Go away. Just go away. We'll give you a piece of Montana. There's hardly anybody there. There's more people probably on this block that I live on in Queens, which is the other reason this country is swirling the bowl, because we are under the tyranny of the minority, of this minority death cult. And they don't care. I mean, that's a case in point. They hate this country. If they cared about democracy, they would take into consideration the fact that they are in the minority and that people don't want what they're pushing and peddling and shoving down our throats. I know that Republicans they're always talking about things being shoved down their throats. Yeah, because they got issues, but so yes. Who's this person? He said, "Under my plan, all Floridians will be able to shoot FBI, IRS, ATF, and all other federal troops on sight," Miguel tweeted. That commentary earned Miguel a permanent suspension from Twitter, but I'm sure he's still up on Facebook and all that. And also, it earned him national coverage from NBC News and the New York Post. Hyde's controversial post also had been taken down from YouTube, not the platform, but the candidate himself. The video has been removed by the uploader, reads the message on the page now. Links from Hyde supporter on the Facebook show the video was titled, "This is Who I Am, Martin Hyde." Fuck you. That's so in there when you click and you listen to him, you'll hear him talk about how FBI agents who are serving a warrant on your spy hole, where you're hoarding classified documents illegally after all attempts to remove them and get them from your grubby, greedy, filthy paws. Small hands, small man. That you're going to shoot these people, that these people are going to be shot. And those are the patriots. You understand that the people who, the FBI agents who are truly making this country, at least trying to make this country safe for democracy. They're the patriots. But you understand, Republicans they love the police state, but and now, because they're so out of control, and they're not semi-fascist, they're full-on, full-tilt, boogie fascist. So that's why they hate any accountability. That's what it's about. They've always hated any kind of accountability. We know that. The party of personal responsibility? Please. They want responsibility for thee, responsibility for me, not for thee. That's them. Oh, you know what I'm saying. So he said, the title of the video was "This Is Who I Am, Martin Hyde," with the description talking about the outrageous attack on President Trump's home. Fuck you, he's not the president. Hyde declined to comment on the substance of the video, but he said, "My imminent lawsuit against you what a piece of shit." Sure, I bet it's coming in 2 weeks. He writes, so this person from Florida politics reached out to him for a comment, and he wrote back, "My imminent lawsuit against you prevents me from commenting." Sure, Bubby. Sure, Bubby. You see, they're just a bunch of bullies. They're a bunch of cowardly little pissant bullies. "You'll get my side in the court papers," he writes to somebody who's just writing a story on this piece of shit. He's writing a story about how Martin Hyde posted a video where he said that he was going to shoot FBI agents. And now he's threatening a lawsuit. Because, they hate democracy. They hate the press, a pillar of democracy. And by extension, I hate them. Legally and peacefully, I hate them. Hyde threatened to sue the Florida Politics blog over a report. Here it is. This is what it was. A report about a dispute with his ex-girlfriend. That's another thing. This is we can all file this under Republicans unfit for office, but we'll get to that in a second. So the writer continues. Of course, this isn't the first time he's threatened law enforcement. He notoriously promised. This is what we were going to watch in that video. Professional repercussions from a Sarasota police officer who pulled him over and gave him a traffic citation. In an extended exchange captured on police body cams. And he was just a bully, a horrible bully. And he threatened this woman's job. That's what he was doing. She did nothing wrong. And I commend her for keeping her cool. Lord knows I wouldn't be able to do it. Really, he said, how many years you've been on the force or something? And she said, I've been, 4 years or whatever. You're not going to make it to 5, he said. Fuck you. Because I guess she was supposed to cower at your authority, your eminence. Don't you know who I am? How many Republicans all over the country right now are screaming those exact words? Don't you know who I am? In the video we showed about, where we were talking about Sarah Palin and her entire trash family getting into a fist fight at somebody's house. Sarah Palin was reported to have said, "Don't you know who I am?" And then, of course, Matt Gaetz. There's the stories of him being kicked out of bars in Florida because he's nothing but a little cuss whose daddy was, a big man, and now he thinks he's a big man. Don't you know who I am? We read a whole story about from a woman who said, of course, take this for what it is. I worked in bars in Fort Lauderdale when Matt Gaetz was, hanging around. And he was acting like, as we would expect him to act. Grabbing women's asses, things like that. And then when they tried to when they did kick him out, he began to scream, "Don't you know who I am?" Or my daddy. No, I think he said, "Don't you know who my father is?" or something. My daddy. It's either that. They either scream about their daddies or don't. Everybody knows who they are. Suppose we're all supposed to know who they are. They're so amazing as humans that we're all supposed to be in awe, and we stop dead in our tracks and genuflect to their superiority. But, don't you know who I am? I don't think I've ever had, well, of course I'm a nobody, but but I've never been like a dick like that. I don't know. Maybe. I don't think so. Not that I'm so great. I've had my moments, but it's always the same with them. The arrogance, the unearned arrogance, everything about them. And it's the mark of people who know they're frauds. That's what it's about. And this is why I encourage them to please simply get the help you need. You're sick. You're suffering. You're not happy. You're horrible. Horrible. I mean, it doesn't. Does that make you feel good? I guess it does, Martin Hyde, when you're screaming about taking someone's job because they're doing their job and you think you're above the law. So, of course, nothing happened to that woman. I hope she got a frickin' commendation. But Martin friggin' Hyde? Who's gonna... that's the thing. He will get votes. I was going to say, who's going to vote for him? He will get votes from this cult, this death cult, this filth cult, this cult of horrible people, of bullies. And someone on the corporate media today, actually, they were talking about, they study the Trumpanzees, and sort of like I do, but they spend a lot of time in their Telegram rooms and all the real cesspools that I stay out of, but because I want to be able to keep my lunch down. But he was saying that as far as this, what's it going to take for Republicans to finally turn on this piece of shit and join the chorus of patriots screaming, "Lock him up." The guy was saying that it won't happen. It doesn't matter. They don't care that he stole classified documents. They don't. And they don't care that he might have sold them or used them somehow. And that's what he did. He kept them for a purpose. And in fact, when they boxed up he oversaw when they were boxing up these classified documents, and he apparently was like, send this, keep that, send, when all of it was supposed to go. But he kept those other documents for a reason. Why did you need the names of agents? Would it be for some kind of leverage, perhaps? When they came to get you, you could say to somebody, hey, sure, come and get me. But if you don't want your agents to die, I mean, of course he wouldn't put it like that, but because he always, as far as Michael Cohen says, he speaks like a mob boss. He doesn't outright tell you. He just says it's sort of like what he said to what's his name in Georgia, Raffensperger. I just want you to find, give me a break here. Something votes. Well, I guess that's a little bit on the money there. But hopefully, but you know what I'm saying. He wouldn't come out right and say, if you don't back off and let me continue being a criminal, I won't expose, I'll expose these agents to my good pal Putin or my good pal Bonesaw over here. Right? Yeah. Remember, that's what he'll say. I'm a friend with Mohammed bin Bonesaw. Remember Khashoggi? He'll say shit like that. You wouldn't want to go Khashoggi. Hold on a second, guys. All right. This is Tara Devlin, unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy. We have a good chat room going. A hopping and popping chat room. Yep. And Winston on the chat says, or whichever of them will pay the most. That's it. Here's the thing, guys. Trump is a piece of shit. Okay. No, I don't know. That's my professional assessment. He is. Well, he is. I'm not kidding. He really is. He's dirt. He's dog dirt. And I don't mean to insult dogs. Dogs are great. Trump is not. But see, here's the thing. This is why he wants to destroy America. He's embarrassed that he lost. And we know that, of course. He's a con man. He's a grifter. Everything is a con. It's a scam. So what's to stop him now? He's only been a scam artist his entire life. Peddling shit. Peddling nothing. Snake oil. I mean, what real billionaire lives in a gilded, tacky, gilded, whatever? Everything is gilded? You really want everything to be covered in gilded? Ugh. It looks like shit. But it really does say who he is. A tacky little, I'm trying to think, where is this? Remember I'm sure you've seen these pictures of Trump and trophy wife number 3. It's so embarrassing with the kid there. And the kid straddling a stuffed lion. And they all look like... They look really like they're kind of trying too hard. Right? Look, oh, here it is. I mean, come on. It's exhausting. And what is this stance? That's the way you stand? Trophy wife number 3? This is out of my nightmares. It's like a surrealistic nightmare I had once. Everything was gold. And there was like some creepy kid. With what? You're going to put a couple of toys down. Oh, he plays with toy limos. It really does look authentic, right? They were just hanging out one day. Little Baron was sitting on the giant stuffed lion. Why is there a stuffed lion? And he's sitting there, the filthy con man, with this fake ass smile. But is this what you think looks good? It's tacky. But what? I mean, he has no taste. He's a horrible person. He sucks. That's all he did all day, apparently, at his fake ass business. All he did was look at swatches. He sucks at business. Anyone who was there, who was actually working there, attested to the fact that he sucked at business. All he did was was point at swatches all day and say, "Give me that. I want that," and he would pay top dollar for this. That's why the eighth wonder of the world, the Trump shithole, whatever that was, the Taj Mahal, went bankrupt in 2 months. 2 fucking months. Because he sucks at business. I'm not saying I'm good at business, but you don't see me looking like, I don't know. Look at him. What is this? There's nothing to it. There's no life. There's no family. It's just a bunch of gilded crap that somebody's grandmother. I mean, I have a lot. I grew up on Staten Island, so all I can say is that I've been in rooms like this. Okay. It doesn't take a fucking billionaire. He's not a billionaire. Maybe he is now because he's a con artist selling our secrets to our enemies. But come on. This is like... Ugh. And why are you standing there? What are you doing? Standing there. Get my trophy wife in here. And she looks dead too. There's no warmth. There's no, oh, come on, fam. This kid, he looks dead inside too. They're all dead. The walking effing dead. That's it, Jim on the chat. They need plastic on the couches and chairs. That's all that's missing. For real. That's the only thing missing from these photos. But where is this other thing? What we were talking about. So this guy, Martin Hyde, I mean, they all suck. They're suffering. And I wish they would get the help that they need. So normal people don't not only worship a con man, but go pull out all the stops for him? Come on. So here, wait. Where is it? Ex-girlfriend of congressional candidate Martin Hyde reports concerns he might be suicidal. Okay, editor's note. This story discusses suicide. If you or people you know are sick or not sick or are at risk of self-harm, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. So, the ex-girlfriend of congressional candidate Martin Hyde last week called police to report an angry dispute. In the course of conversations, she said that Hyde was suicidal. Hyde later demanded that she retract her statement because, you can't let the truth get out there. And I'm not saying, hey, get the help you need. This is what I'm saying. Go get the help you need. If you're suicidal, of course you are. I'm not surprised. The way you walk around. You're a fraud. And that's why you behave like that. You have imposter syndrome. So you got to be a bully to everybody you meet. So in the hopes that they don't catch on, but the fact that you behave like that is the tip, basically. We know. That's the tell. We know that you hate yourself. We know that you're miserable. We know that you're unfit. You need help. You don't need to be running for office. It's like when you're in a plane and they tell you if you're in a plane crash and the air, releases in the cabin, you put it on yourself first. You breathe the air first before you put it on a child. Because you're no good to the child if you can't help yourself, if you're passed out. So the moral of the story is you can't help You can't help somebody if you can't help yourself. So get the help you need. Don't go pretending you want to represent the people. You're not representing the people. What you're doing is filling that epic emptiness inside. And you want to fill it with power and manipulation and ugliness. And what kind of position, what kind of job can you get where when people pull you over, you can say, don't you know who I am? I'm no longer the candidate for office. I'm now the representative. Because that's what he was saying. Don't you know who I am? I'm running for office. So that gives you permission to speed and text on your phone while you're doing it. It's like they're all the same. It's like the guy who ran over that person who was walking down the road. Freaking ran the guy over and left him to die in a ditch. And then refused to concede. He refused. And lied. If you go online and you watch this guy's the interrogation, the police interrogating him, the lies, the fake concern for this person after he finds out, oh, it's not a deer. Well, deers don't wear glasses. I mean, they're all sick. So the woman says she dated Hyde for 6 years and reported his erratic behavior while expressing a desire to inform the public. The girlfriend reported to the Sarasota Police Department that Hyde was emotional and unstable after the latest blow-up between the two, the on and off couple. Police spoke to Hyde about the allegation on the day the woman called the police and decided he did not meet the criteria for protective custody. God knows what he said to them. He's probably like, I'm running for office. Don't you know who I am? Of course he did. The girlfriend, no, I said that already. The incident came after months of scrutiny about Hyde's temperament following a traffic stop caught on video where he threatened a female police officer's job. Because that's what you do when you're a Republican. I'm going to have your job. Because, you're a big man. You're a big man around here. That's what big men do. I wonder if anyone can dig up video, anything, a story, word of mouth of, let's say, Jimmy Carter being pulled over for a traffic stop and going on about, I'll have your job, don't you know who I am, right? No, you would never. That never happens. Or anyone, Obama. Imagine, of course, it would never happen. It wouldn't happen before he was president. And it wouldn't happen now, of course. Or any other Democratic representative. Do we have any comparable examples of behavior like that? I'm not saying that Democrats don't act like assholes sometimes or act belligerent or whatever, but I don't see these examples. I'd like to see them if they exist. All I see are a litany, a laundry list of Republicans when they're caught in the act of being themselves. They're assholes. They're dicks. They treat people like shit. And I'm not surprised because they're not in it for altruism. They're not in government to serve. They want government to serve them. They want to turn it into a system the founders overthrew. That's it. I mean, we figured it out a long time ago. Even if Joe Biden is just catching up. That's why I'm even today, and when I had the corporate media on, and they were talking about that one of the White House spokespeople came on, And he's like, again, with the Republicans and Democrats, bipartisan. Even after, because they were talking about Joe Biden saying, calling them semi-fascist, and he's like, well, we work with Republicans. Well, what are you working with? Who are you working with? They're few and far between, the ones that you can still work with. And even them suck. Like Susan Collins, is that who you're working with? She's the bitch that put that unfit fucking Kavanaugh on the bench. Let's get to the bottom of where his loans got paid off. Who paid off his loans? I want to know. All of a sudden, they were gone. So, to continue with the article, the one about this dirtbag Martin Hyde. The woman in an ongoing dispute with Hyde spoke to Florida politics and said Hyde in recent weeks cheated on her with a younger woman, of course. Hyde denied it, and he criticized Florida politics, the blog, for running the story. That's why he's saying he's going to sue. This is literally fantasy. The story is fantasy. Florida politics is fantasy. That's a direct quote. The lies in this report. Anyone can say anything about anything. I care too much about people to throw dirt back at them. Yeah. Oh, honey. You think we believe that shit? This is a disgraceful abuse of journalistic authority. Shame on the people who publish it. So sue. There's a thing called discovery. Everything will come out in the wash. But that's why Trump and the rest of them, people like him, they're always like, sue, we're going to sue. It's coming in 2 weeks. And nothing ever happens. Even this, they sued over the subpoena or whatever. And their ridiculous filing, I mean, was all about witch hunt and politically motivated, and I won in a landslide, like all this shit, all this same old shit. It might as well have just copied and pasted the stupid tweets. And that's what they do, because they're not fit. Trump's horrible lawyers, they're not fit in the head. They can't compete in the real world. And that's why the judge said to them, go back and do it again, and gave them an example of how it's supposed to be done. I'm sorry, the courts aren't there for you to exercise your manias. So that the judge is supposed to sit there and read your friggin' musings on a political witch hunt? Get the fuck out of here. For Christ's sakes. These people, they're Joe. It's a bunch of clowns. A bunch of freaking clowns. Wasting everybody's time. We have real shit to do. That's why I can't stand the American sheeple, some of them, if they vote for these con assholes. Joe Biden's like signing bills and shit, like actually trying to address real problems to bring us forward somehow, make America successful, set us up for success in the future and the present, not just use government to show off to Putin. To show Putin, look at me. I got some classified documents. That's what it was all about for him, for Trump. When the Russian, what's that guy, Lavrov, came to the White House the day after he fired Comey because obstruction of justice. Oh, but he's above the law, and he showed him classified documents. And apparently, the excuse is whatever Trump does is automatically declassified. Well, why don't you show them all our secrets, you piece of shit? Oh, they're declassified. I wonder if the Republican, how much will it take? And I think it's going to take going the full Jim Jones, frankly. It really is. Because they're not letting go. Not at all. And I wish they would go the full Jim Jones, don't you? Legally and peacefully. So to finish up with this article, Hyde denied being suicidal to the police, telling them everything was false. He then turned the conversation by alleging that the caller had burglarized his residence and went through his personal belongings of a woman that was at his house, he said. Ugh, could you imagine? You're that woman? Ugh. And this guy is not, he's not Mr. Wonderful. Inside or in any other way. During initial phone contact, Hyde hung up on the police. I thought he was going to shoot them. Well, I guess he just wanted to hang up. The report states after expressing displeasure that the body cameras were on. Well, because once again, you're going to be caught in the act of being yourself. He told police they should investigate his accusations, but declined to formally report a crime. Holy moly, guys, they're unfit. And I can't believe this is the end of the Progressive Voices part of the show. Can you? It goes by so fast. Become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin to keep the real liberal media going and growing. And we will win. We're on the right side of history, decency, dignity, and democracy. We stick together, we win. My name is Tara Devlin. I'll see you soon. And remember, guys, check out APS Radio News. Keep the independent media going. And me going. Nice. Can't believe how fast it goes. How's everybody in the chat? We got a good chat room happening. Everyone is popping and hopping in this chat at youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster. L says Jim Jones with question marks. You remember Jim Jones? The cult leader that led his cult into a mass suicide event. I wonder, what's it going to take? Maybe it'll be the Heaven's Gate cult. These people, if Trump told them to drink poison, they'll do it. These are the same people that drank bleach. Jim Jones had the Kool-Aid and Trump's got his bleach. People ended up in the hospital because they drank bleach because this piece of shit told them to. He's a dirtbag and needs to be in jail. I mean, just the fact that you think about one of the hurricanes, I'm blanking on the name, where he changed the map of the hurricane with his little Sharpie. He actually called the what's the federal agency that tracks all the weather and whatnot. You guys in the chat will remind me. He actually called them to, I'm sure not him personally, but one of his, his followers, his cult followers who was working for him. They called them to make them change the map officially when the hurricane wasn't gonna go in that direction. He just made a fucking Sharpie thing and then was called out on it, saying, when you do that, you're affecting the lives of the people who live there. You know, you can't just play with people's lives like that. And he don't give a shit. He literally called up the federal agency and told them, oh yeah, the National Weather Service. Thank you, Robin, on the chat. He literally told them he ordered them to change the maps, to manipulate the maps to fix the facts around the policy. And who cares? Whatever, if people are going to be like, oh shit, a hurricane's coming, let's get out of here. And they pack up, they do, you know, they uproot their whole lives. And then there's no hurricane. It wasn't supposed to go, it wasn't forecasted to go there. But because the con man drew some ink on a map, everyone had, if that's not fascism, what the fuck is? Oh, if that's not Jim Jones, what the fuck is? Excuse my language. I know I'm really cursing up a storm. I'm sorry, everybody. My mother raised me better, but not really. Was she? She was a nun. She was the saltiest nun I ever met. But, yeah, they suck. What can you do? Not nuns, Republicans. Well, no, some nuns. She told, let's see, to continue with this article about Martin Hyde, she told Florida Politics, that's the name of the blog, his accusation stemmed from a time in July when she drove by his home and found the garage door open. She said she went to check on his welfare and found another woman's purse in the home. I did see a purse which threw me off. I looked and I opened a flap of a wallet because I wanted to see the name of the person with my supposed future marriage partner. He was still promising marriage, children, the whole thing. I wanted to know the truth. I mean, I understand that. Wouldn't you? She said after seeing the woman's name, she closed the wallet. The woman said her relationship with Hyde deteriorated over the following weeks as it became clear he wanted to instead be in a relationship with this new woman. She said she sent messages to the other woman and told him and gave her a heads up about his character. She told police that Hyde threatened to report her to the police for using his computers. The ex-girlfriend said one concern in contacting the police was repeated threats by Hyde to commit suicide, perhaps as soon as 10 days in the future. She told police she had previously contacted Hyde's son, a police officer, about his mental state. Police spoke to Hyde's son, who confirmed receiving the messages from the woman about his father's mental health. But he did not believe his father was suicidal. That included discussing, he said he was planning for the future, including discussing a new home and liquidating his business. He did say his father's former girlfriend contacted him by text about his suicidal ideation. The ex-girlfriend said Hyde made detailed plans about selling his business and giving the money to his children before killing himself. She also showed police a video of her at home. Of her home? Wait. She showed a video to police of her home, of Hyde showing up outside the front door and telling her to open it and provide an explanation. This is all plausible. If you saw his antics with the police officer, of course, this is how he is. He's fucked up. He needs help. And what do I say? Instead of getting the help they desperately need, they inflict it on society. And that's what he's doing. Because it's so much easier. It takes a lot less work to be a Republican candidate or a representative than it does to face yourself and look at yourself and figure out why you're such a piece of shit. Why? Why are you a monster? Why is it if a cop pulls you over and you're clearly in the wrong, you just don't say, oh, shit, and take the ticket? Instead, you got to call for the supervisor and the lieutenant and the sergeant. Get your sergeant here. And you got to threaten her job and say, don't you know who I am? I mean, who acts like that? Except horrible people. That's why he had to drop out of the race, because it was caught on tape. It was caught. But and that's what I'm asking, guys, on the chat or even after the fact. Others, give me an example. Please send it to me at tarabustermedia@gmail.com. If you know of any Republican who's caught in the act of being himself or herself and they look good, right? And I'm saying they look like a decent person. And you're like, you know what? I may not agree with being a Republican or their political whatever, but this is a good person. I can tell. This is a real good person who helps people, who cares for their community, doesn't just tear it apart, doesn't just attack specific minority groups du jour, to ensure that the fissures of disunity in humanity are all nice and fresh. Those wounds are open and festering. Right? Anybody? I would love to see it. That could be the good news story. Someone wrote me a long time ago and asked me to do some good news on Tarabuster. You should do good news stories, they said. Finish up the week or something with a good news story, but I had none. Except we did the one where the deer who was shot by a hunter turned around and killed the hunter. That was a good story, a good news story. So let's see. I need to be honest with you. Where is it? After Florida Politics contacted Hyde for comment, the woman said Hyde showed up at her home shortly after she sent Florida Politics a text recanting her account. I need to be honest with you, as I haven't been before. She was threatened. This whole situation gets even further out of control. I need to be honest and tell you that for whatever reason, I guess due to my pain of ending the relationship, I completely fabricated everything I said to the police and to you. I am so sorry. This is not my typical behavior. Jesus Christ. I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror if I knew I was lying. Blah, blah, blah. But the following day, she sent another letter to Florida Politics recanting her recant and verifying her original account. I'm sure he was there making her send that text. Who knows? It was probably him. Grabbed her phone and Martin Hyde. Here, this is it. Yeah, that's right. Martin Hyde, exactly what I just said. Martin Hyde backed me into a corner, intimidating me, and would not let me leave until I fixed the situation for him, quote unquote. When I initially refused to do it, Mr. Hyde got very agitated, and I felt fearful for what he may do, either in that moment or later in retaliation, as he has threatened me multiple times, she said. She stood by the account, the original account, to police and to Florida Politics, writing every word I spoke and provided to the Sarasota Police Department and to you was the absolute truth, she said. Well, what do you think, guys? Is it that this woman called the police and said, I am afraid that Martin Hyde, my, I thought, boyfriend and future husband, is unhinged and threatening suicide, or and then I totally fabricated. Why would you fabricate that to the police of all entities when you know you can get in very serious trouble for that? It's not like you're just texting his son or something. But that's who they are, guys. They are horrible. That's why they talk tough, they type tough, right? But they're cowards. And they really do need help. That's why, we're working for them too, We're not leaving them behind. We just want them to get help. Conversely, they're dirt bags. All they do is divide this country. And here, this is what I wanted to play. The other thing. I wish I had done it before the Progressive Voices people dropped off, because I think they'd enjoy it. This Ron Desantis shit. Did you see this shit? Let's play this video, and hopefully the audio will work.
Hey, we are not going to let this state be overrun by woke ideology. We will fight the woke in the businesses. We will fight the woke in government agencies. We will fight the woke in our schools. We will never, ever surrender to the woke agenda. Florida is the state where woke goes to die.
We will never surrender.
We shall go on to the end. We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender.
Hey, we are not going to let this state be overrun by woke ideology. We will fight the woke in the businesses. We will fight the woke in government agencies. We will fight the woke in our schools. We will never, ever surrender.
Who the fuck does he think he is? And what is he talking about, by the way? And that's another example. What do they offer? What is he talking about? We will fight the woke. We will fight them in the businesses. We will fight them in the beaches. We will fight them in the fields. We shall never surrender to the woke. What does that mean? It means you won't ever even try to be a decent human being. That's what it means. And woke means anything that Ron DeSantis can score political points off of. That's what woke is. It's like anything that he deems somehow advantageous to his aspirations to be the president of the divided states of America. He doesn't want to be the president of the United States. He wants to be the president of the divided states. He's a bully. He's a piece of dirt. And I don't know if he just ripped off that Winston Churchill speech, that famous speech, with realizing, doing it deliberately, and or if he is confident that the assholes who are there cheering him think that because they're ignorant. They have no historical anything, no references. They don't know that speech because they're willfully ignorant. He just completely ripped it off. It's incredible. But I wonder there's no homage. He didn't say, to paraphrase Winston Churchill. That's what you would do. That's what makes me think he did this. He just ripped it off, thinking and knowing and confident that the idiots wouldn't recognize it because they're stupid. Well, I mean, they're just willfully ignorant. They have no grasp of history, much less reality, especially when it comes to fascism and fighting fascism. And the irony of ripping off a speech from somebody who fought fascism, the irony of a fascist using that speech to inspire the exact opposite. That's why Republicans, they're unfit. You see, this is another example. To inspire the exact opposite of what Winston Churchill was trying to inspire in the British populace, fighting the Nazis, unifying the British people for the fight yet to come. But what is he doing? What is Desantis doing? He's ripping off this famous speech to divide, to promote his fascist, his really cynical and selfish desire for power. I can't talk. All of a sudden, I just almost choked on myself.
We will fight the woke in the businesses. We will fight the woke in government agencies. We will fight the woke in our schools. We will never, ever surrender.
How fucking dare you? And what does that mean? It is so fascist. It is exactly what, Hitler would do and did. Anything that Hitler, this is what happened. It came to a point, whatever Hitler said and did was the law. Whatever he believed, that was the truth. So that's what he's talking about right there. We will fight the woke. What the fuck are you talking about? We will never surrender. But they're holding signs. Keep Florida free. Free from what? Free from freedom. Free from unity. Free from decency. What a piece of shit. And I swear to God, people were coming down on Charlie Crist for saying that, I don't want your vote. Talking about, and then they were like, oh, what are you going to do? I thought you want to appeal to the moderate voter. And he pushed back saying, they're not moderate. The people who vote for DeSantis, these are not moderates. This country has gone so far to the right that corporate media is saying that Ron DeSantis is a moderate. He's more dangerous than the con man, because he's a con man too, of course. And, what are you talking about? The corporate media is... And I was happy to see that Charlie Crist, how he pushed back. He's like, oh, Hillary Clinton. That's what they were saying. Hillary Clinton made the same mistake. The basket of deplorables. Fuck that. She didn't make a mistake. She was absolutely correct. And she qualified it too. The basket. She didn't call them all baskets of she didn't say they were all deplorable. She said the homophobes, the Islamophobes, the transphobes, the fucking hateful fascist pricks. And they were like, I'm deplorable, yay. They owned it. Well, okay. I guess it's better, just admit it. Admit who you are. Okay. If you're deplorable. You're a happy racist. We know it. In fact, actually, you know those Good Liars, the comedy troupe, the Good Liars. They interview a lot of Trumpanzees, and they asked some old dude who was wearing a Confederate flag, the flag of losers and traitors, and they asked him what he felt about slavery. They asked him to denounce slavery, and he wouldn't do it. He said no comment. And they were like, okay, I'll give you another chance. Was slavery good or bad? No comment. All right, one more chance, they said. This is an easy one. This is a softball I'm throwing at you. Slavery, good or bad? No comment. Because that's who they are. That's right. Winston on the chat says, right. She just used deplorable because she didn't want to invoke Godwin's law, which you know how I feel about Godwin's law. That always drove me up a fucking wall. And here we are. And thank you, Robin, for your super chat and your very cute emoji. The fist bump right back at you. It's like, the Godwin's law thing drove me insane because what are you talking about? We can't point out the historical similarities in the way that the Republican Party is turning fascist. Well, like I said, this didn't happen overnight, man. They've been working on this game a long time. We will fight the woke. We will fight the woke in the fields. We will fight.
We shall go on to the end. We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air.
We shall
defend our island
against
whatever
the woke.
The cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills.
Incredible.
We shall never surrender. And if, which I do not for a moment believe, this island or a large part of it were subjugated and starving, then our empire beyond the seas, armed and guarded by the British fleet, would carry on the struggle.
Yes.
Until in God's good time,
all the woke.
The new world, with all its power and might,
with no woke,
forth to the rescue and the liberation of the old.
Jesus Christ. And they are the exact antithesis of anything decent. Well, here, I'm looking at the time. We're running out of time. Here's the list, or so, I'm sure it's a growing list, of the many claims that Trump and his cult have used to excuse his absolute blatant treason. So one, they said that the documents were taken by accident, remember? In the January chaos. Because they had worked, Trump was focused on stealing the election and hanging Mike Pence and whatnot, and having his cult take a shit in the Capitol. So he was like, just put those nuclear secrets in this box and put the names of our CIA agents in that box, as if classified documents are just hanging around. They're just laying all over the place. It's like a episode of Hoarders with classified documents, and it's just chaos. That's not how it happens. If you make off with a classified document, you're doing it on purpose. You have to deliberately get it. And do it in a sneaky way, too. Because it's not like you're like, do. Like no one's hanging around. These secrets are being guarded. So he had to have some kind of, well, he's the so-called president despite receiving fewer votes. So he's probably like, let me see the list. Give me the names of all of the agents working in my pal Putin's Russia or in Saudi Arabia. You know that's what he did. You know it. And God, it's all going to come out in time. And I hope we hear about it. I hope we hear what damage was done. Well, the other one, so they were taken by accident. Then these documents were planted by the FBI. Remember that? Yeah. It was rotating excuses too. Depending on the hour, you might turn on one Fox channel and they would be talking about accidents, and then you go over to Tucker Carlson, and later on he's talking about being planted. And on Alex Jones, then they're talking about how Trump was just bringing his work home like so many hardworking Americans. Fuck that. He hasn't ever worked a day in his rotten, useless, wasted human DNA life. What are you talking about? Bringing his work home. Why do you need the names of agents? What work? And you're not the president. You're not the president. You piece of dirt. And they write, amazingly, this new line of Trump defense is trying to flip this to show a bond between Trump and working Americans, bringing work to the golf course and resort. Bullshit. He never worked. His job was trying to keep power. Everything he did was the aim of keeping power for himself, not to help anybody, not to do anything for anybody, but to make him not be embarrassed in front of Putin. That's what it was about. That's why he sent his cult to take a shit in the Capitol and hang Mike Pence. Because how could he ever be best friends with Putin if he couldn't pull off a coup like Putin did? You know, that's really what it's about. They hate democracy. They hate America. That's it. It's all a game to them. There's no higher ideal except greed and selfishness. They're narcissists. They're worse. They're sociopaths. Yeah, bringing his work home. What work? What? You're not the president, you dirtbag. You never was. You weren't even the president when you were. I don't care how many times they played Hail to the Chief when you slithered into the room on a cloud of trans fats and and scum and greed. Here's the other one. Other presidents took home classified documents, which, of course, the whataboutism. I'm surprised that wasn't the first excuse. Whataboutism is a hallmark of fascism, and it's also something that Putin does incessantly. So, Republicans do it, of course. This very frequently used whataboutism excuse attempts to claim that everybody does it. Everyone takes home classified documents. Also, except these were declassified by Trump, by Ooga Booga, you know. He waved his smaller than average wand and they were all declassified, except the people the names, you know, the human beings attached to those names didn't know that. Oh, and that's it. There's only those so far? That's all on the list. I thought there were more. But, yeah, they are fascists. There's no getting around it. It's, you know, it's out. The freak flag is flying. All you got to do, go over to Right Wing Watch. Here's an article. Once we take control, they're openly talking about instilling a Christian fascist agenda. There, last Thursday, this white nationalist Claude Felter used his show to call for the establishment of a far-right authoritarian government. Oh, you know how that always works out well, right? They keep doing this shit, though. Fascism never ends well for the fascists. You understand? It doesn't work for the people, and many people die. But it never ends well for them either. It's a temporary passing phase because it is so abhorrent. And eventually, it ends, comes to an end. Well, we hope, at least, as far as Hungary is concerned. And that's why they call themselves an illiberal democracy. They're trying to do a kinder, gentler version of it, but it's still the same. Burning books, the entrenched power in the hands of a few, out minority groups, kick down on minority groups, attacks on women, of course, stripping women of rights. They're disgusting. Far-right authoritarian government in this nation that will imprison its political enemies, establish Christianity as the national religion, and outlaw all secular education. That's their agenda. And they're talking about it openly. I mean, I've said for years, in every Republican chest beats the heart of fascism, and they're not even hiding it anymore. Not all, of course, Lindsey Graham wouldn't come right out and say this, but ultimately this is the agenda. That's it. They hate America. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for some examples. I'm monitoring my email. I haven't seen a one. An example of decent Republicans. Are there any? I'm sure you maybe know somebody. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about those in power or seeking power. They're all sick. Something is wrong with every single one of them. Of course, something is wrong with every single average Joe Republican, but yeah. As far as what's going on now, as Adam Serwer writes in The Atlantic, don't forget that the Senate Republicans let Trump get away with it. That Trump violently attempted to overthrow the government, and his party ensured that he would face no consequences for doing so. So why would he face consequences now? Of course not. That's why we have to stand up and support the liberal media, because we will win. We're on the right side of history, decency, dignity, and democracy. We stick together, we win. My name is Tara Devlin. I'll see you soon. Remember to support our affiliates like APS Radio News. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you soon. I swear, I've tried to fix that. I don't know what it is. It keeps... Holy moly. All right, guys. I want to thank... Oh, Kay is on the chat. Nice to see you, Kay. And thank you for your super chat. What a surprise. I read your email earlier. I'm not sure if you were around. Thank you all for hanging out. So let's see. When will we meet again? I don't know. Hopefully soon. Hopefully Tuesday. I'm going to shoot for Tuesday. Where's the producer? Where is he? You want to see him? How many hands we got in the chat for the producer? He's sleeping. Let's see. Hi, producer. Let's get him. Let's get the little one here. Let's get him, everybody. Hello. What were you dreaming about? What were you dreaming about, honey? Tell everybody your dreams. I got dreams too. Say. Where I'm running, I'm naked, I'm falling, my teeth are flying out of my skull. Do you ever have dreams like that, Junior? He's very groggy. I'm sorry I woke him up. Will you? All right, honey. Aw, I'm sorry. Everybody wanted to see you. Say hello. People can't see you. Come on. This damn camera. It's gonna fall. There you go. Say hello to the chat. All right. Well, there you go. That's the producer for you. Now he's shaking. He's itching. That's why the thing is shaking. He's scratching himself. His ears. He's scratching his ears. He's doing good. He's a good boy. What can you say? He's my good boy. All right, guys. Listen. Thank you guys so much. I love you all. It was great hanging out with you tonight. So let's not make it, make our show sooner rather than later. God knows what's going to happen. I hope. Oh God, keep praying. Praying for those handcuffs. That frog march out of Mar-a-Lago. I'm very, it makes me sad too, because I told you guys, my friend Michael, my very good friend Michael, passed away recently. And he's somebody that I know would love this, would love to see Trump in handcuffs. But hopefully, who knows what happens when we die. Hopefully he is watching from a front row seat in Mar-a-Lago as Trump is scared. He's waking up scared. That's why they're all on their social media yelling witch hunt. Hell, don't these Republicans, just any one of them, just even the cult, don't they get tired of the same old shit? Same old witch hunt. Same old excuses. Thank you guys. Yeah. Thank you guys on the chat. Thank you. I do. I miss him every day. And he always, when anything happened, he was my pal that we would go and here in New York. I mean, I have pals all over, but we would go to, Bernie events and marches, and he was really, he every single day worked to make the world a better place. He was an amazing person. In fact, he is a meme. I think he was on the show once too. The man, the meme. I'll show you. He became a meme because he was heavily involved with Occupy Wall Street. Hold on. He was older, so he died. He wasn't, he's sick for a while, but it was kind of it was pretty sudden. I didn't expect him to die. Let's see. If I look up Fox News how was it? Rich people telling working middle class people to hate poor people. Here it is. I'm sure it'll come up. Here it is. Here it is. I told you. Hold on. This image was on every website for a while. Oh, look at that. John Fugelsang even tweeted it. I'm trying to find the damn switch. Hold on. Right here. Come on. I'm trying to make it bigger. But it won't. It won't make it bigger. That's what, you know. I don't want to say it. That's what she said. Why can't I open this? God damn it. It's hard to see. Anyway, you could see it. I'll cover these up. That's him right there. He was a character. Rich people paying rich people to tell middle class people to blame poor people. And that was during the Occupy Wall Street protests. Alrighty. Alrighty. That's another picture of him. Okay. Guys. What am I doing? Where's my eCam? Listen. We will win. Thank you so much for hanging out. My name is Tara Devlin. You know it. Hopefully we'll see each other very soon, and we will. We will. I'm not sure what day, but hopefully soon. If you can, become a patron at patreon.com. Give the show a good review on iTunes. That helps. Because we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. That's the damn truth. We stick together. We win. My name is Tara Devlin. This is Tara Jr. And I'll see you very soon.